Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's December 18th, 2025, and we are in the New Testament book of Revelation. We're going to read chapter 8, verse 6 to 9, verse 21. Okay, so we're still in the throne room. The Father has handed the Son the scroll. The Son is being depicted as a lamb, the sacrificial lamb, that which made him worthy to open this scroll and release God's judgment on the earth. We saw that it had 7 seals. We saw 6 of the seals were opened, and then we had a little interlude, and then the 7th seal was opened, and now we have 7 angels come forward with 7 trumpets. And they're going to play their blast on their trumpet to bring in God's wrath. 7, 7, 7s. 7 is that number of completion that we see over and over in our Bible, usually of a cycle. Now, we've seen a few of them. We saw the 7 churches, the 7 lampstands. We think about Revelation in symbols and symbols and symbols, and yes, you can get lost looking at symbols, but we're just kind of touching the surface of it. So when we see these 7s, we just want to understand that they are related to each other. We have the 7 churches, and those letters pronounced judgments on the churches and said, hey, there are some things you have to do to be on the right side of God. And we saw as we went through the 7 that they got progressively more and more dire, I guess is one way to put it, or more urgency behind them. And then we had the 7 seals, and that was the same thing. As we opened each seal, that the pronouncements got more and more dire, more and more urgent, until we see that we're now at the trumpets. And as we go through the trumpet blasts, each successive one gets more and more urgent and more closer to God's wrath hitting and saying, okay, that's it. You've run out of time. I've given you all the time that I've intended to give for people to repent and come back to me. And now there's nobody left that's going to repent. And so there's no point in continuing with creation. Essentially is where we are. So again, are there more to the symbology? Probably, sure. People spend their whole lives looking at Revelation. But we don't want to miss this big picture that, hey, this is the grand epic battle between good and evil, and we already know good's going to win. So we don't want to miss that. We don't want to miss the triumph coming out. We don't want to miss that, hey, there's a finite time for creation. Creation isn't forever. And God has picked a time and said, you know what, this is the time that this creation ends, and we move to the new creation, and I'm going to take the people that follow me with me. If you're not part of that group, then you're not coming with me. You're going with the creation that's being sent to the fire, the lake of fire. Well, we're getting to that part. All right, but right now we're at the trumpets. So we're going to listen to these trumpets as they come, and we're going to see how God's wrath is coming out, but it's building still. So the 7th one is going to be the final one. So each one of these trumpets is kind of building on the next one, leading us to the next one as God's wrath is building and building, and that's what we want to see, that it's just getting ready to go. And hey, the people that are left on earth should be seeing that and saying, oh my goodness, God is really angry and it's coming, but they don't. They ignore it. Oh, yeah, it'll be fine. God, just give me a sign that the end's it. Okay, he's giving you the signs, but they're being ignored. Let's go ahead. We're going to read Revelation chapter 8, verse 6 to 9, verse 21. So the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. And the first angel sounded, and hail and fire followed, mingled with blood, and they were thrown to the earth, and 1/3 of the trees were burned up, and all green grass was burned up. Then the second angel sounded, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea, and 1/3 of the sea became blood, and 1/3 of the living creatures in the sea died, and 1/3 of the ships were destroyed. When the 3rd angel sounded, and a great star fell from heaven, burning like a torch, and it fell on 1/3 of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. 1/3 of the waters became wormwood, and many men died from the water because it was made bitter. Then the 4th angel sounded, and 1/3 of the sun was struck, 1/3 of the moon, and 1/3 of the stars, so that 1/3 of them were darkened, 1/3 of the day and did not shine, and likewise the night. And I looked, and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because of the remaining blast of the trumpet of the 3 angels who are about to sound. Then the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fallen from heaven to earth. To him was given the key to the bottomless pit, and he opened the bottomless pit, and smoke rose out of the pit like the smoke of a great furnace. So the sun and the air were darkened because of the smoke of the pit. Then out of the smoke locusts came upon the earth, and to them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. They were commanded not to harm the grass of the earth, nor any green thing, or any tree, but only those men who do not have the seal of God on their foreheads. And they were not given authority to kill them, but to torment them for 5 months. Their torment was like the torment of a scorpion when it strikes a man. In those days men will seek death and will not find it. They will desire to die, and death will flee from them. The shape of the locust was like horses prepared for battle. On their heads were crowns of something like gold, and their faces were like the faces of men. They had hair like women's hair, and their teeth were like lions' teeth, and they had breastplates like breastplates of iron. And the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots with many horses running into battle. They had tails like scorpions, and there were stings in their tails. Their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had as king over them the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, but in Greek his name Apollyon. Apollyon. Let me get that right. Apollyon, which means destruction. Pick it up at 12. One woe is past. Behold, still 2 more woes are coming after these things. Then the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God, saying to the 6th angel who had the trumpet, Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. So the 4 angels who had been prepared for the hour and day and month and year were released to kill 1/3 of mankind. Now the number of the army of the horsemen was 200 million. I heard the number of them, and thus I saw the horses in the vision. Those who sat on them had breastplates of fiery red, hyacinth blue, and sulfur yellow. And the heads of the horses were like the heads of lions, and out of their mouths came fire, smoke, and brimstone. By these 3 plagues 1/3 of mankind was killed, by the fire and the smoke and the brimstone which came out of their mouths. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails are like serpents, having heads, and with them they do harm. But the rest of mankind, who were not killed by these plagues, did not repent of the works of their hands, that they should not worship demons and idols of gold, silver, brass, stone, and wood, which can neither see nor hear nor walk. And they did not repent of their murders, their sorceries, or their sexual morality, or their thefts. May God bless the reading of His word, and may God bless you. Bye.